Hello, New Life. My name is Mystere Monteiro. I am delighted to be here celebrating you all's 20th anniversary. I almost said wedding anniversary, but happy anniversary, New Life. Pastor Martin asked me to come on here today and share with you today's devotional thought on the topic, be committed. And when I think of on this topic, I actually think of a special date, and you probably already have guessed it. June 24, 2012 is the day when I vowed and I made a commitment to my now husband that I would love and cherish him for better or worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do us part. Similar to my vow was that of Ruth, which we can find in the book of Ruth, chapter 1, verses 16 to 17. But before I get to it, I want you guys to have just a little bit of a background. The Bible tells us that there was a great famine in the land. And a gentleman by the name of Elimelech decided that it would be best to remove his family from the promised land, the land that God had given to the children of Israel, and have them settle in Moab. And so he does. He removes his family from the famine, his wife Naomi and his two sons, and they settle in Moab. Whilst there, Elimelech unfortunately dies, leaving Naomi with the two sons. The sons grow up, they take on wives of their own, daughters of the land, Ruth and Orpah. But unfortunately, the two sons also die. Naomi is now left without a husband, without children, but she does have these two young daughters-in-law. She feels, however, that this land has nothing to offer her, and she decides that it's best for her to return home. Unfortunately, because she doesn't have anything to offer these girls, she feels that it's best for them to remain here in their homeland in Moab. Now, after much back and forth, Orpah, one of the daughters-in-law, finds that, okay, I'll take the offer. I think it is best for me to remain here with my family. This is my family. These are my people. This is my culture. This is my religion. This is my place of comfort. This is my place of familiarity. This is my home. And so Orpah chooses what is most convenient for her. On the other hand, Ruth decides that as the Bible puts it, that she would cling to Naomi. It says that she clung to Naomi and she makes a vow to Naomi. And so she chooses the opposite. And here in Ruth chapter 1, verses 16 to 17, she says to Naomi, don't ask me to leave you and turn back. She says, where you go, I will go. Where you live, I will live. Your people will be my people and your God will be my God. Wherever you die, I'll die. And there I will be buried. She goes on to say, may the Lord punish me severely if I allow anything but death to separate us. So today I want you to allow me to highlight 4 lessons from the story of Ruth. Lesson number 1, commitment is a choice. It is a choice that is intentional and a choice that sometimes is opposite of what is most convenient. For Ruth, that meant leaving her family, her people, her culture, her language, things that were familiar to her, and being okay with embracing the new ways of life. And so I suggest to you today, New Life, that in choosing to be committed, we have to be okay of letting go of the routine. We have to be okay with embracing the mindset that things may be done a little bit differently than what we are accustomed to. We have to be okay with being uncomfortable sometime. We have to be okay with embracing a new way of life. But also keeping in mind, just like Ruth, that in doing so, we are bound for the promised land. Lesson number 2. Commitment is demonstrated through action. You see, Ruth didn't speak mere words. She didn't merely speak words. No, she lived it. She lived it with pride. She lived it willingly. She lived it in a way in which others around her recognized her commitment to Naomi and her commitment to her God. God demonstrates this very same act. His word says, for God so loved the world that he gave. And so even if he was to never tell me again that he loved me, I would know beyond a shadow of a doubt that he does, simply because he gave. And so today, New Life, I want to encourage us to let our commitment show through our giving, and giving with joy. Let our commitment show through our doing, and doing with pride. Let our commitment show through our time, through our words, through our willingness, through our love, so that even without words, the world and the communities around us will recognize our commitment to our God merely because they see the mark that we have left behind through our actions. Lesson number 3. Our commitment should be our expression of God's love towards us. As the story goes, Naomi's love for Ruth was evident through her nurturing, through her sound counsel, through her guidance. And I like to believe that Ruth's commitment to Naomi and to the God of Naomi was but an expression of that love that she received through Naomi. New life in the same way, because God has been so good to us. At times when we should have been counted out, He still considered us His own. His commitment to us is inconceivable, to where we should want to shout it out from the mountaintops. And so this, our gratitude, should be an expression. It should be a reflection of how good God is, how good He is, how good He has been, and how good He always will be. Lesson number 4. God honors commitment. Ruth, this brave young woman who chose opposite of convenience, choosing to commit to a God whom she'd come to know through the life of Naomi, the life of her mother-in-law. This very God acknowledges her. He sees her. He redeems her and allows her to marry Boaz, a man whom the Word of God describes as being a man of virtue. He not only does this for her, but He also allows her to be the great-grandmother of one of Israel's greatest kings, David. And through her bloodline is born the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. If God can do this for Ruth, if God can honor Ruth's commitment in this way in your life, eyes have not seen, nor ears have heard what God has in store for you when you choose to commit. And so I implore you today, be committed.